We're on to the Copa America segment of the show. Of course, a few hours from now, the first match will be played. We'll continue with our preview of the tournament. We'll be taking a look at what's going to go down tonight. Well, it depends on where you're from, where you're watching us from. Taking a look at the time difference. Okay, to do all of this with me, I have the pleasure of having our own Toyin Bitoye. We're going to be taking a look at the matches to be played in the group stages of the Copa America Centenario. Toyin, let me quickly welcome you to the show tonight.
Thank you so much, Yemi. At least we have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
We know that all over Europe, this is mid-season. But then there are some great football coming up.
Yeah.
The Euros in a few days, and of course the Copa America that we've been talking about all this while. Eventually it comes down to a few hours, and the tournament will kick off in the United States. And I don't think you have a better game to start off the tournament than the game that we have on our hands, the host against Colombia. And I'm expecting that the fireworks will begin as soon as the referee signals that the game should start.
Well, let's go straight into it. The first, like Tony just told you, the first match will be between the host United States and Colombia. Well, a lot will happen in that game, and of course, both teams will want to get victories. Let's start with the United States, and let's go in that direction. They have some bright and exciting young players. Christian Pulisic played for Borussia Dortmund. Jermaine Jones for Colorado Rapids, and you have, best
collection
of goalkeepers. You have Tim Howard, Brad Guzan. Maybe they have, and the whole warhorse, forgotten his name now, still in that, Clint Dempsey, still in that team. So on the balance, you look at the U.S. team, if the blend is there, they should be able, on home soil, should be able to get their big victory.
It's a very, very decent side. You remember how well they played at the World Cup. The heroics of Tim Howard still very fresh in our minds, how well they played. And the young Englishman has been able to build his team together. He stayed there for a long while, and he's been able to build a very, very strong unit that is difficult to beat. And playing on home soil should be added incentive for these guys, because we know the role that the fans can play in a tournament of this nature. When two teams are playing and looks like they have equal strength, the 12th player can always bring a lot of influence, and that is what I expect the Americans will be enjoying at home. But then when you look at who they will be up against in the first game, Colombia, it's a very toughened, battle-tested side. A lot of top-quality players spread across Europe. They have the attitude, the mentality of a winning mentality to go and play anywhere and win anywhere. So I think it's an amazing setup that we have for the first game. For the Americans, it's good to get to hit the ground running with a victory. Gives them a lot of confidence going forward. And for Colombia, who have been knocking on the door of this title for a very long time, is a chance for us to show that this time around they want to strike gold.
Yeah, since you talked about Colombia, let's go to Colombia now. And the coach still in charge. Their talisman didn't play too many games this season. That's James Rodriguez for Real Madrid. And of course, you know the story of their star man.
Cuadrado, of course.
Radamel Falcao.
Falcao is lost his mojo.
So you look at all of that, and you're wondering what Peckerman will be able to come up with. A lot of relatively unknown players apply their trade scattered across Latin America. So do you think they can replicate that form that saw them go to the quarterfinal of 2014? Because this is already looking like a disjointed Colombian team. But this is Copa America. We've seen strange things happen.
Yeah, the task of, the immediate task that Jose Peckerman had on his hands is to rally his troops together and help them to hit the ground running, get up to a good start against the Americans. There's something special about Copa America that we need to emphasize here. It's how close, how tight these games can be. And very, very competitive games they are. So it depends on how much he's able to rally his troops together. And as we said at the beginning of this segment, they have a couple of players who have played to the highest level in Europe, Europa League winners. They played in top clubs. James Rodriguez plays in Real Madrid. Even if he's not playing regularly, the fact that he plays and he lines out and trains regularly. And we know what he can do. On his good day, we saw what he did at the World Cup. And and his performance, particularly in the game against Uruguay, is still very fresh in our minds. So on their day, if you allow them to get those chances, Cuadrado, with all the hard work from the middle of the Cuadrado, okay,
they have Carlos Bacca from AC Milan.
Bacca, the guy that moved from Sevilla to AC Milan. So this is going to be a very, very a good Colombian team. Forget about the troubles that they have. And once the game begins, they will be able to pull themselves together and give the Americans a very good run for their money.
Okay, so let's still move on the show and take a look at some of the fixtures, matches to be played on Saturday. The other matches involves Brazil as well. Brazil has been facing a lot of problems, 6 forced injuries to Dunga's team. But let's take a look at Saturday. A lot of 3 matches to be played. Also, you have Costa Rica. Keylor Navas might just not make the Costa Rica team. They take on Paraguay. Haiti take on Peru. Brazil take on Ecuador. Maybe you should start with Brazil with all the problems they've had recently.
Yeah, a lot of injury withdrawals at the last minute for Dunga. But the Brazilians are not ones that want any excuse, no matter how good, no matter how tenable those excuses are. The Brazilian team will always want to go onto the pitch, dominate the opponents and win. And if you remember, particularly how Brazil have struggled in the last couple of this last couple of editions of this competition, how they've struggled. Even on home soil, they didn't win, and all the struggles the last time against Chile and all of that. They surely will want to make it count this time. For Dunga, the Brazilians have lost a lot of confidence in their team after the defeat. The massacre they got at the World Cup on home soil, 7-1 to Germany, 3-0 in the top league game to Holland. So they need that confidence back. They'll be counting on this man, Hawk, to bring his size and his power to bear on the team. And a couple of other decent players. But how well they gel as a team and how well they're able to imbibe the philosophy of Dunga, who prefers to even win by 1-0, close shop, all of that.
Keeping it tight at the back.
All of that will have a lot to say about what Brazil will be able to do. That's
the problem, exactly. You don't have Thiago Silva, you don't have David Luiz, and you want to keep it tight at the back. You have Miranda, he's going to captain this squad. We know Dunga's philosophy, keeping it tight in defense and getting maybe that solitary goal and ensure that you win games. Felipe Luis also will be in that team. But would they be strong as a defensive unit?
It's difficult to rely on, solid defending in a tournament like Copa America, because you're going to be coming up against some of the best strikers in the world, some of the trickiest players you would ever find. So it's going to be very difficult for you to, plan all your team around keeping out strikers. You have to also plan to go forward and get goals, and that's what Dunga will have to do. Rely on the talent that he has. He has to be able to marshal his troops. He's been there before. He knows what to expect. He knows the attitude of the average Brazilian fan that, look, we have to play well. The Brazilians are not just satisfied with winning. They want to win well. They want to see their team play expressive football, typical Brazilian football, and win. So he has to find that balance and be able to get that team going.
Okay, I won't allow you to leave, Tony, without talking about the big one. It's going to be on Sunday, Mexico against Uruguay. The talks about Uruguay has been settled about Luis Suarez, whether or not he's going to be fit. Some people are saying it's redemption time for him. Jamaica and Venezuela as well also will play. But Mexico, Uruguay definitely will be that game on Sunday that everyone will be looking out for.
Definitely. The Mexicans have shown, because, ordinarily, one would think that Mexico is a typical South American side. But the same style, the same philosophy, the same attitude, the same commitment, the same competitiveness that you see in South America is what you see of Mexico. Sometimes when you want to play South American teams and you play Mexico, you are playing more of the same kind of team you'll be playing against. The same feel. So this is the real game on Sunday. Real big battle on Sunday. And want to see what Mexico will be able to bring to the fore. And of course, Uruguay want to see what impact Luis Suarez will have on the team if he's able to meet and meet up with this game. That's going to be some game for us to look forward to.
Okay. As we go, there's some other matches to be played that we didn't talk about. Haiti will take on Peru, and of course Jamaica takes on Venezuela. That's some of the matches to expect during this weekend. That's going to be more for you on Sports Tonight. Join us again.